everyone! Let's go! This is gonna be so freaking good.
I didn't think it'd be this hard to go and try to let you down.
Oh god. I think this is the vibe I'm gonna carry for the rest of the day. Why did I not think it was gonna feel like I thought it was gonna feel so much slower? Yesterday it took forever. Maybe I just had a gentler pour, I guess.
And yes, I'm sure about my choices.
Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. Super grateful that you're here. As per always, I hope you're having a beautiful damn day. This week's What I Eat in a Week video is freaking so exciting because I'm collaborating with the wonderful, the beautiful, the lovely Jazmin Tyler.
Hi everyone, my name is Jazmin Tyler, and Julia, I am so excited to be doing this vegan challenge with you. I know you already eat plant-based, but for me, it's definitely a little bit of a challenge to eat 100% vegan, so I'm super excited.
We both shared some vegan recipes for us to try. That's the one thing that I absolutely love and support for people, even if they aren't 100% vegan, if they try to incorporate some vegan meals every single day or every single week. And it just warms my heart to see more people eating vegan. For me personally, it's never about the label. It's about every single person trying the best that they can to help the planet and to nourish their bodies. Anyways, without further ado, let's get on to the delicious food. So I really love cranberries and I love cranberry sauce, and I had some leftover in my fridge, so I decided to make a cranberry sauce with some French toast this morning. And you know what? We're really bringing out the fall vibes. I had a leftover peach. I snacked on that while everything was cooking. And for the French toast base, I guess you would call it, I mashed up a banana, added some coconut sugar with a little bit of milk, mixed that all up until it was a good consistency, and then I dipped my bread in it. Should I just put it right into the pan? Yeah. So I just had my pan heating up on medium heat, and I added a little bit of coconut oil to make sure that the French toast didn't stick, and then I just fried each side until nice and golden brown. Because of the sugar in the banana and the little bit of coconut sugar that I added, it really browned up nicely, but do keep an eye on it because it goes from nice and brown to burnt very fast. I then topped my French toast with my cranberry sauce, some pumpkin seeds, some dark chocolate, some hemp seeds. And by the way, I'm using gluten-free toast for this. If you watch my last What I Eat in a Day, it's that gluten-free toast that I bought for the barbecue tofu sandwiches, which were so good, by the way. For lunch today, I decided to try out a recipe from Jazz's TikTok. This wasn't on the list of recipes that we sent each other to try this week, but I saw it and I needed to have it. It looks so simple and so delicious, and it's right up my alley with things that I like to enjoy anyways. So I cooked up some rice noodles, threw some edamame in with my rice noodles. I believe she used broccoli and some other green vegetable in her recipe, but after the rice noodles and the edamame were cooked, I just fried up a little bit of garlic and a little bit of ginger, threw my rice noodles and my edamame in there along with my sauce, which was simply just tamari, peanut butter, rice vinegar, a little bit of sriracha sauce, a little bit of sesame oil, and a touch of maple syrup as well. I then added everything to my bowl, topped it off with some sesame seeds and a little bit of fresh basil. I just didn't have any green onions in the house, so I decided to throw some basil on there. This week for day one, we picked or gave each other options for a mystery ingredient that we had to make a whole meal out of. For whatever reason, my Instagram is not loading, so I can't get back into our old messages, but I'm pretty sure I remember the options that she gave me. So we gave each other, I think, 4 options, and then we kind of will put them into a bowl or put them into a hat, whatever, and then pick one. So the options, if I remember correctly, are apples, cabbage, mushroom, and I believe the last one was pumpkin. So we got cabbage in here, we got mushroom, apple, and pumpkin. All right, throw them in a little bowl, close my eyes, do a little swishy swish. And pumpkin. This was, this is honestly the one that I didn't want because it's just such a hassle. So we're gonna hit up the grocery store and then make some sort of pumpkin dinner dish thingamajigger. And That's the real technical term. So I'll see you at the grocery store. So Jazz messaged me when I was actually in the grocery store and said she didn't have time to do the mystery ingredient recipe, which is totally fine. We all have busy schedules. We all gotta do what works best for us and our lifestyle. We can't just dedicate our entire lives into cooking in the kitchen. So no worries at all, girl, but I think I'm still gonna make my mystery meal. I've kind of already dedicated myself by doing a little intro about it. And you know what? It was fun for me. I put some stuff in a bowl. I picked a piece of paper. It was a good time. So for this pumpkin dinner, I decided to just keep it super simple and just roast some pumpkin in the oven. So I cut it up into pretty large chunks. I like a nice chunk of pumpkin, you know what I'm saying? I then drizzled some olive oil on top, seasoned it with some salt, some pepper, some sage, along with some chili flakes, some garlic powder, some onion powder, and a touch more oil as well. I gave that all a really good mix and stuck it in the oven for about 40 minutes or so at 400. And I wanted to have my roasted pumpkin with a big Buddha bowl, so I cooked up some brown rice, I massaged some kale, I added my pumpkin to the bowl, I then threw on some red onion. I absolutely love red onion, guys. Like it is just so freaking good to me. Sorry to all the onion haters out there, but your girl loves it. Anyways, I threw some chickpeas on there along with some sauerkraut because, guys, get your fermented foods in. And to be honest, I was so excited because I actually made that sauerkraut and it's already done. I have a new batch sitting up in my cupboard waiting to be eaten. Eaten? Sure, I think that's the right word. Probably not. So if this is your first time watching one of my videos, I absolutely love having a warm drink in the morning. Like, my morning just does not feel right if I don't sip on something warm and cozy first thing. I enjoyed my hot chocolate with a chocolate banana muffin and just hung out for a while. So I was feeling something a little more savory and spicy for breakfast this morning, and we are keeping on trend with the fall vibes and the warm spices, but we chopped up an entire sweet potato and half of an onion along with some garlic. We then are just gonna boil the sweet potato until it's nice and cooked, but not overcooked to the point where it's like extremely mushy. And please do not try this at home. I literally just like chucked the sweet potato into the pot when the pot was like boiling, and you know, caution because you can totally burn yourself. I threw my onion, garlic, and some ginger into my pan along with some salt and some pepper. And then once that started to brown, I seasoned it with a little bit of fennel, a little bit of clove, a little bit of cinnamon. Okay, a lot of cinnamon. And I threw just one chili in there because I wanted the essence of spiciness, but I didn't want the dish to actually be overpoweringly spicy. I then threw in a little bit of tofu along with my cooked sweet potato, some tamari, some lime juice, and a touch of water as well to really let the flavors mix in and mingle together. This is the first time I've ever made this, but to be honest, it was really freaking good. And I wasn't feeling like rice or quinoa or anything right in the morning, so I actually just cooked up a little bit of oatmeal, threw that at the bottom of my bowl, threw my curry on top, topped it with a little bit of radish and some sesame seeds, and to be honest, I was extremely impressed. I'm onto something. I am someone that has loved cooking for years upon years upon years, and because I've been doing it for so long, I kind of understand the basis of flavors, and I feel more comfortable experimenting in the kitchen because if something doesn't work out, it's really not the end of the world, and I'm not that picky of an eater. I'll still eat it because, you know, food is food. But that's why I love encouraging people to get in the kitchen and just try out new things because you get more comfortable as you do it. Anyways, for lunch, we were feeling something super simple. We just made an Asian-inspired Buddha bowl, and there's nothing new here. Just a bunch of fresh veggies, some rice, sauerkraut, topped with a super yummy but spicy dressing.
This no-bake Twix bar is so good. And it starts with a simple shortbread layer that's made with almond flour, maple syrup, and coconut oil. You're gonna bake that until it's golden and let that set. And then you're gonna make a super gooey date caramel. And that starts with some nut butter, a little bit of boiled dates, some maple syrup, and some coconut oil. Blend that up until it's smooth. And then you're gonna smear that on top of your shortbread layer. Finally, add lots of dark chocolate on top that's melted, and then stick it in the freezer for a couple hours until it sets, slice it into bars, and enjoy the best gooey Twix bar.
So I had to change up her recipe just a little bit because I didn't have all of the ingredients for it, but we made it work and it ended up being so damn delicious. So instead of almond flour, I actually used oat flour. So if you have a problem with nuts, then oat flour would definitely be the way to go anyways. I added my coconut oil, my maple syrup to it, mixed that all on up, and then greased my pan. I actually don't typically buy parchment paper, so I did not have any in the house. So I just oiled my pan really, really well before sticking it into the oven, and that layer cooked for about 15 minutes. In the meantime, I just had some dates soaking in some hot water. I don't have a microwave, so I couldn't microwave them, but we made it work by just boiling some water on the stove. And then I also didn't have almond butter, so I swapped that out for a little bit of tahini and a little bit of peanut butter, and I think it worked really great. So after I blended all of those ingredients up, like she said, I smeared it onto my shortbread layer after it was cooked and cooled. I let it cool for about an hour or so, and then I had some dark chocolate melting on the stove as well, and I honestly did a pretty good job for eye tempering this chocolate. After I pulled it out of the freezer, it wasn't streaky at all, and I was like extremely impressed with myself, not gonna lie. But I do gotta say, it was a little bit of a hard time trying to get it out of this pan after it was frozen because the dark chocolate just stuck to it. I should have oiled the sides of the pan again.
I'm a fail. Oh no.
But hey, it is what it is. I got it out and it was so damn delicious. Oh my goodness, guys. I cannot recommend this recipe more. It was great, Jasmine. Thank you. After lots of time in the kitchen today, I was not feeling like anything too technical for dinner, so I honestly just massaged some kale with some lemon juice and some salt, topped it off with some radish, some red onions, drizzled some vegan mayo on there, topped it off with some seed mix, and then just warmed up some leftover pasta from my last week's What I Eat in a Day video. And this pasta, honestly guys, was so freaking good. You've gotta try it. As you saw, I threw some chickpeas on top of my salad as well, and then I munched on some dark chocolate and called it a night. So here I am making my warm drink as I always do in the morning, but this time I decided to add some turmeric and some maca powder to my hot chocolate as well. And anytime I can get some extra turmeric in my body, it just makes me so damn happy.
One of my absolute favorite combinations is balsamic mushrooms and avocado toast, and it's so easy to make. All you have to do is saute your mushrooms in a little mixture of spices, garlic, some balsamic vinegar. And then once those are golden brown, you're gonna assemble your avocado toast. I just like to mash my avocado with a little bit of lemon, salt, and pepper, smear it onto some bread, and then add on your delicious balsamic mushrooms.
On my way to an eye appointment, and I brought a banana as a snack, but there's a homeless guy standing right there and he looks very hungry, so I am giving him this banana. He has the banana safely. Oh, I see him eating it. Yay! Yay! Can I get a tall latte made with oat milk? And that's everything.
Perfect, it'll be $5.71. Come on up.
Awesome, thank you.
The brownie granola is kind of what I'm known for because I just eat it so frequently. It's super dark chocolatey, full of delicious, huge clusters. And the ingredients are super simple because it's just rolled oats, some nut butter, chopped walnuts, some cacao powder, maple syrup, and you just like mix that up, press it super flat on a pan, and bake it until it's clustery.
Honestly, it's so funny that she's known for her chocolate granola because I feel like I'm a little bit known for my tahini granola. So many of you guys have told me that you've tried that recipe, and if you haven't, you got to. It is so freaking delicious, and I will link it down below for you guys. However, for her recipe, I did not have any almond butter in the house still, so I just swapped that out for sesame and peanut.
Oh my god. This is gonna be so freaking good. Jazz, you killed it! Ugh.
And like she said, I just flattened it out on a pan. I greased this pan beforehand. Make sure you do that because your granola will definitely stick with the amount of like sweetness you add to it. However, when that was cooking, I decided to make a very late lunch, by the way. Not gonna lie here. And that is why I just needed some leftovers in my life. I didn't feel like anything too technical, so I just threw in some spinach, some already cooked brown rice, some already cooked pumpkins, threw some chickpeas on there with a couple slices of red onion that I already had chopped up in the fridge, leftover cranberry sauce, and a little bit of sauerkraut as well, and a dollop of hummus for a little bit of extra creaminess, and
Oh my goodness, girl, you freaking nailed it. I love this.
So I was just not in the mood for making a dinner, so I just threw in a bunch of tahini granola with a banana and called it a day.
This is a lot. Woo!
For breakfast, we've got an amazing cookie dough and ice cream smoothie bowl. So all you have to do is blend some frozen bananas with a little bit of peanut butter, some cacao nibs, a tiny bit of almond milk, and then you're gonna top it with some homemade brownie granola.
As you saw, I was like so impressed with these clusters. I love a clustery granola. The worst thing ever, in my opinion, is when you make a granola, you pull it out of the oven and it's just still like dry as anything. No, I want thick, bold clusters. And right after that, I needed something warm in my body as well. So I just made a little coffee and then it was time for lunch.
This next dish is inspired by some Korean food bloggers that I love to watch, and it's sweet and spicy tofu. So first you're gonna get some gochugaru or some gochujang, and that's Korean chili spice. You're gonna mix that with some maple syrup, some garlic, some ginger, a little bit of soy sauce, rice vinegar, sesame oil. Then you're gonna slice your tofu block and brown it in olive oil, and then pour on your sweet and spicy sauce. I like to serve this with some rice, some steamed vegetables, and you can also eat it with little seaweed cups or lettuce cups, because that's super fun.
So I decided to have mine with some rice noodles. What else is new? I am in love and obsessed with rice noodles, but along with that, I wanted some massaged kale, so I just added some lime juice instead of lemon juice this time, and then added lots of fresh cilantro on top, along with my rice noodles and this delicious, boldly bright, gorgeous, saucy tofu. Oh my goodness, it is so freaking gorgeous. Topped it off with some sesame seeds, some green onion, mixed everything all on up, and enjoyed. I was actually filming a what I eat in a day video for Instagram, so that is why some of these clips are going to be vertical instead of horizontal. But I chopped up 3 red skin potatoes, added them to a pan along with some olive oil, some salt, some pepper, and some chili flakes. And then I just used my hands and really massaged all of those spices and that oil, covering all of the potatoes evenly. I find when you don't do that, they don't evenly crisp up and evenly brown. That's why it's nice to kind of take the extra time to do that step. Once those were in the oven, I shredded up some king oyster mushrooms with a fork, and then added them to a hot pan with some oil and sauteed them with some salt, some smoked paprika, onion powder, garlic powder, and a little bit of parsley as well. And then I just sauteed them until the mushrooms were very browned and the water had evaporated from them. And once they looked like that, I added some barbecue sauce, and you can add as little or as much barbecue sauce as you desire. Make them as saucy or not. I love mine saucy, so I added lots of barbecue sauce. I then plated my deliciously golden brown potatoes, topped them off with my quote unquote pulled pork, along with this cheesy sauce that is simply just made from hummus, nutritional yeast, and a little bit of water until it was my desired consistency, and then enjoyed. This was such a delicious and fun dinner. So what else is new? I'm making a hot chocolate again this morning, and I added turmeric to this one as well. And you may be wondering, why are you not using your French press to froth your milk, Julia? And that's because I broke my French press, guys. Smashed it into tiny little pieces. It was a mess. And I have yet to go get a new one, but soon, because I miss my frothy milk. After trying the balsamic mushrooms once, I needed them again. They were so damn delicious. I love fried mushrooms and I love balsamic vinegar. So this was just speaking my language. But I had half of a zucchini hanging out in the fridge, so I decided to throw that in there along with some leftover chickpeas. Seasoned it with salt, pepper, chili flakes, and a little bit of oregano. Squeeze a lemon juice and then spread it out I never know if I'm saying that right. Spreaded out half of an avocado onto 2 pieces of toast, and I'm using that gluten-free toast again. Topped it off with my sauteed veggies with my balsamic vinegar, and of course, I had to get some fermented foods in as well. So I added some sauerkraut. This is just a store-bought one because the one that I have in the cupboard just isn't quite done yet. Threw some red onions on top and called this a delicious breakfast.
You may think that I know too much, but now it's never too much. because I'm putting.
This next meal is so good, and it's spaghetti squash with pesto, and I'm actually having that for lunch today. For the spaghetti squash, just bake it as you normally do, and then you're gonna make a homemade vegan pesto with some basil, some olive oil, some walnuts or pine nuts, garlic, salt, and pepper, of course. Blend that up. I like to keep my pesto a little bit chunky. Once your spaghetti squash is super soft, you're gonna add on the pesto, and I also love to add some sauteed zucchini. You can brown it with like some olive oil, a little bit of spices, some garlic and herbs, and just throw that all on top.
So for my spaghetti squash, all I did was cut it in half and massage some olive oil onto it. I then threw it into the oven for about 35 to 45 minutes or so at 375, and everyone's oven is different, so check it as you need to if you try this at home. Anyways, we're making our pesto. So we got lots of basil in here, along with 1/3 of a cup of olive oil, some salt, some pepper, a chunk of lemon because I love lemon and pesto, and some walnuts as well. And then I just blended that until it was still chunky but well combined. I decided to saute a whole bunch of veggies today because one, I really needed to use these green beans, really needed to use that orange pepper, so I did that. Sauteed it with some zucchini, garlic, and some kale as well. Threw my pesto on top, mixed everything together, and oh, this was so delicious, filling, and nourishing. And to be honest, I haven't had spaghetti squash in like months and months and months, so this was the perfect way to enjoy it again.
Who opens up this package is too tight, huh? Whoa.
For dinner today, we were not feeling anything too technical. I was hanging out with a friend and we just decided to get some takeout. So I got a big bowl with some crispy tofu, some potato, carrots, cucumber. There's sweet potato in here as well with some guac, tomatoes, and of course I had to throw some sauerkraut on top because you know me.
Here we've got my absolute favorite meal. I could eat curry every single day, and this one is super easy because it's less than 5 ingredients, I think. You're gonna start by dicing a kabocha squash, and kabocha squash is so creamy, you can leave the skin on. Then you're gonna boil that until it's soft, drain the water, and transfer most of the squash to a blender, and you're gonna blend that with some curry spices and some coconut milk. I like to leave a couple of the squash pieces unblended because it adds some texture. Then you're gonna add a couple cans of rinsed chickpeas. You can also add some bok choy or some kale, and then keep simmering that until it's super soft, and serve it with a little bit of lemon, some red pepper flakes, some rice or crispy tofu, really whatever you want, and it's so good, so cozy, and perfect for autumn.
So I actually didn't have time to make this recipe during the week, but I just decided to make it after a long day of editing, and I gotta say, it just really hit the spot. It was so freaking delicious.
This is such a mess. Oh my god.
I haven't had this type of squash in probably years, actually. So this was a really fun way to have it again. And I think the only way that I've ever had it was just simply roasted in the oven. So I love trying new recipes with ingredients in a different way. I topped my curry off with a bunch of cilantro, a bunch of green onion, a lot of lime juice as well.
And there you have it. I really hope you enjoyed these meals, Julia. And yeah.
Her meals, her recipes, chef's kiss. Chef's kiss times a million. I hope today gives you a bunch of meal inspiration, but I want to remind you to have fun with it. Cook with what you have. You don't need all of the ingredients of a recipe to make it delicious. You can make it your own. And the more you play around the kitchen, the more comfortable you get with cooking and the more ideas come to you as well. I really hope you guys enjoyed today's video and enjoyed this collaboration. If you haven't already gone and checked out her channel, please go do so and check out the flip side of this video, her version of this week's collaboration on her channel. I was truly so thrilled to work with her. She is such a sweetheart and has so many damn delicious recipes. So please go check her out. And if you haven't already, hit the like button and the subscribe button here. Please do so because it really supports my channel. I am so grateful for every single one of you and hope you have a beautiful rest of your day because you deserve it. I will see you again soon for lots more videos coming your way. Mwah!